The Coachella content isn't over yet. You guys buckle up. It is Coachella weekend 2, and we're going to recap some of the drama that has been talked about. We've got Alix Earle calling people out, Post Malone facing some backlash for his set, guest drama, and so much more. So buckle up because we are getting back into the festival drama. Starting off with some dancing drama, let's talk about Alix Earle because she was calling out the crowds at Coachella, which isn't anything new. We've heard this before that people feel like Coachella, specifically weekend 1 crowds, are just not it. She posted saying the crowd last night at Lady Gaga was not it. And in a Get Ready With Me video, she said that while she was trying to dance at Lady Gaga, she was literally snapped at.
I got into a little altercation last night at Lady Gaga. Basically, we got there and it was so packed and no one was dancing, so I was like jumping up and down, and there was this woman behind me and she kind of like yelled at me. I don't know if she said like, you realize there's other people here, right? Or like, I don't know, she said something to me. I snapped a little bit. It's like a big owl came out, got a little crazy, and I was like, I'm trying to have fun. And then Braxton, and then this lady's friend like comes up. So then Braxton's standing in between me and these like ladies, and we had beef like the whole night, but then they left like 10 minutes later. So I was like, well, clearly didn't care that much about Lady Gaga.
People really were just out here trying to ruin the fun for others, but those Karens weren't the only ones, because speaking of doing the most, we have got to talk about Landon Barker. So this man was out here, you guys, pushing through the artist section Sunday night towards the very end of Post Malone's set. His bodyguard came through, slamming the crowd as Landon said to him that he wanted to go closer. And this is a personal firsthand story here I'm telling, okay? Boots on the ground reporting. He literally thought he was so tough with his bodyguard, getting him all the way to the front. I mean, truly the entitlement of people. Like, he was already in the artist section. Come earlier if you want to be close or something. Plus, like, what if his bodyguard had bumped into someone like Justin Bieber? I feel like that would have been crazy. Like, why do you want to come off that way? And like, if he had, would he have been like a little bit more apologetic or something? Because this man was not having it. When people were getting upset at him for pushing through the crowd, he was like, what? Like, you know, what are you gonna do about it? Like, why are you acting like that? Like, shouldn't you really only have that man to make sure that you're safe or something, not like try and ruin everyone else's time because you want to go closer when you were late to the set? But whatever. I just had to rant because that was crazy. Anyway, I'm just embarrassed for him. Like, oh yeah, you look really tough with that bodyguard, kid. Like, keep it moving. And since we're already talking about Post Malone's set, okay, you guys, like, let's unpack this set. Honestly, I liked it, but mainly because he did perform his hits. Yes, they were countryfied, but ever since Post Malone was named as a headliner, I honestly didn't think he was even going to be singing any one of his hits. I thought he was going to do straight country music because he has been country posty for at least like a year now, and I just felt like maybe he was leaving his old stuff in the past and this was going to be a new era for him and he wouldn't want to revisit the old days, but he did. I feel like he tried to do his best to do what he's doing now and also gave the fans a little taste of what his old music was. And of course that didn't sit right with everyone, as people said in the comments reacting online saying, if I got this version, I'd be so mad. He should have done Stagecoach if he's going with the country vibe. Please make this country phase end soon. I miss Stoney. I wish I would have went to see him in concert before his country phase. Someone else said this is what Megan was cut off for, because Megan Thee Stallion was performing before Post Malone and her set got cut short so that they could set up for Post Malone's set so that they could keep on good time. She was still performing, but with the mic cut out, fans were heartbroken that they couldn't hear her close out her set. Especially when what they were getting was this new version of Post that not everyone loved. Now, as for some more influencer mess, we can't talk about Coachella weekend 1 without discussing the GETS compound. Oh gosh, you guys, this was messy. So GETS Jeans invited a ton of influencers and creators to their Coachella compound this year, and the vibes? Well, to the internet, they were like, what's the point of this? The whole idea was that everyone there would be decked out in GETS clothing, which, okay, makes sense, but some people just felt like seeing these influencers get this luxury treatment and having to wear these clothes weren't really making anyone hurry up and run and buy GETS.
Guys, I'm back at Coachella with GETS Jeans, so I'm gonna give you guys a house tour. This is one of my favorite times of the year to go with GETS Jeans. They always make it such an enjoyable experience. Okay, now for the house tour. This house is so unbelievably insane. I can't believe I get to stay here for the weekend. Starting off with the living room, they pay such close attention to detail. Everything is branded GETS. We have our very own bartender and chef, so whenever we get hungry, they always are making us meals. I am staying in this house with a few different people, including my friends Tori and Skylar, who I went with last year. GETS is so good with providing necessities we might need for the weekend, so they set up all of these products that I'm so excited to try and use. All of my selects from the new GETS Jeans collection was set up perfectly in my closet along with some other things. I have been waiting since I picked these outfits out to wear them. They are so cute. I'm so excited to show you guys. I am so thankful to be here with GETS Jeans, and I can't wait to show you guys what an amazing weekend we have. I forgot to show the backyard in this video, so here's me running to the backyard to show you guys. You'll find me here just laying out in the shade, not the sun, because I don't tan, but I will be.
People reacted saying that they get why influencers say yes to this, but not so much the brand side.
I cannot think of a single effing person who will go out and buy GETS Jeans after seeing all the content that is produced at this Coachella weekend with GETS. Not being a hater, but this is very much like 2016 Kardashian era marketing, and I can't help but feel like with the economic state of the world right now, we're moving out of this. You need to move with the times. Like, we don't want to see this. This is not going to make your ideal customer want to shop with you. It's actually going to make them hate you, and they're not going to support. I'm also starting to feel like, dare I say, showcasing wealth has now become tacky, because I mean, even the rich in terms of like fashion and style, they're finding ways to not show their wealth as much because they know that the economy is going to take a turn, and even while they're up, everyone else is down. So it just looks classless when you are just doing.
If a brand offered to fly you to Coachella, pay for your ticket, put you up in this nice villa on the condition that you have to wear their clothes for the entire weekend, and let's just say their clothes are not the cutest, would you still do it? In my opinion, one of the fun parts about going to Coachella is getting to pick and plan your outfits. But you know, a lot of these influencers who get flown out to Coachella and everything by these brands, oftentimes they have to wear their brand's clothes. You know, they're posting outfits in the brand, they're showing off their clothes. That is kind of how the brand is making the money back, by the influencers promoting their clothes and everything. And a lot of these times, I'm gonna admit, these sponsored outfits aren't the best. I feel like it's pretty easy to tell which outfits are put together by people who like didn't have an obligation to post about what they're wearing or anything, versus people who did because they are sponsored to go. And normally, from what I've seen, it's usually the people who wear these, you know, sponsored outfits that they didn't choose that end up being clowned. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not always the case with these outfits, but from what I've seen, a lot of the times that is what's happening. Sort of like the Met Gala.
People said free place to stay, free tickets, and free clothes. Girl, I don't give up what I look like. Let's go, LOL. Absolutely, I'll wear a trash bag. I don't care if it's bad. A free concert, sold. Other people said it's almost as if brands have changed their marketing to target influencers versus actual consumers. Am I gonna watch the content? Yes. Will I purchase? No way. Not gonna lie, I love GETS Jeans, but what is this marketing? It's crazy to see these wild influencer videos versus the POV of people camping, and they're all in the same place. It's truly dystopian. Now, as for some other dystopian Coachella influencer moments, there's been a lot of conversation surrounding Nobu being at Coachella and that they were offering an exclusive reservation dining experience that people thought was just insane of them. Influencer Adeline posted a TikTok trying out the experience for herself.
Here is everything that I ate at Nobu Coachella. They didn't have my favorite lychee martini, so I had to get this Heaven Sake. It was very sweet, so I give it a 5 out of 10. Starting off strong with the yellowtail jalapeno. It was super loud in there, but next up is the salmon sashimi. I don't expect anything less from Nobu. The fish is always super fresh, and I love the crunch. We were in the Red Bull Mirage, which is right across from the Cassar stage, so that's why they only served Red Bull. Edamame was nothing special, that's why I put 5 out of 10. I was watching my chef make the sushi. This is the first year that Nobu is at Coachella. There's lots of sushi places you could go to, but the ambiance. The other sushi vendors, you basically have to buy it and eat it on the ground. If you're lucky, you might be able to get a table. The sashimi, I give 8.5 because it was super fresh, which I feel like you wouldn't expect considering you're in the desert. The spicy tuna cut roll, I thought was good, but it's just so much rice. I personally wouldn't order it again. And then the baked crab hand roll, I loved. I think I'm just a crab girl. I love anything with crab or lobster in it. You have 50 minutes to eat everything. That's how long your reservation is. And saving the best for last, you cannot go to Nobu without grabbing the rock shrimp tempura. 10,000 out of 10. a million out of 10. You cannot forget to eat and drink your water when you're at a festival. So this was such a nice intermission between sets. But I don't know, would you try it?
People reacted saying $350 and no lychee martini is crazy. Only complaint is, why is the stage in the opposite direction? I would have designed it so the customers can face the stage. So 1K for sushi on a paper plate, got it. 1K for sushi is literally ridiculous. 1K Nobu at Coachella, pure dystopia. I feel like there's so much to this festival that is dramatic, truly, from the prices to what's going on the grounds to the events outside the event. There's so much being said at all time. Anyway, this was all just weekend 1, so let's see what happens weekend 2, though weekend 2 is known to be not as influencer heavy, so things should be pretty chill, but you never know. I certainly want to know what you guys think about all of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.